Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm here tonight with my 90-day fiance B90 recap and some tea for you. Season 7, Episode 6, Paradise Lost. If I was going to give this episode a grade, I would give it a solid B. Okay. Um, it's been a pretty meaty season so far. That's the only proper adjective I could find right now. But let's get right into it. That's all I can say. Let's just get right into it. So we're going to start off with the most boring couple, in my opinion, of this season. Tigerlily and Adnan. It is the day after the festival of Adnan, and they're exhausted. They slept in like a bunch of teenagers till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Adnan's like, my whole body hurts. I can't move. Our wedding last night, we were dancing all night. It was a big festival, and you know, my body hurts. But today is our honeymoon day. So we're going to drive to the city of Petra, which is one of the seven wonders of the world, because I want to show my beautiful bride, you know, my country. It's very important to me to show her my country. She's only going to be here for 3 more days. So, my beautiful bride, Tiger Lily, can you get ready in 30 minutes? And she's like, no, baby, there's no way. And he's like, but why not? And she's like, I need to take a bath. I need to do my makeup. I need to have Cruz come and do my hair. And he's like, baby, we're going to be sitting in the car for hours. Okay. Why can't you just do that stuff over there and just, let's just get on the road? Barbara, I agree. He's annoying. And then I have to remind myself that he's a fucking baby. Yes, he's a fucking baby. So she's, like, it's going to take more than 30 minutes for me to get ready, baby. Well, it took her 4 hours. Okay. Adnan and his brother was sitting out there in the car waiting for her. And he was so annoyed by the time she got there. And Cruz and Shay are like laughing at him. Did you guys notice that? They were like cracking up at the whole thing. So he's like, is this how it's going to be all the time? Every time we go somewhere, I have to wait 4 hours for you to get ready. And she's like, baby, do you want me to look ugly? And he's like, you're beautiful all the time to me. I can't take waiting 4 hours for you to get ready. And then his brother, the shit stirrer, had to, insert himself in the conversation. And he's like, and by the way, your outfit is not appropriate for Jordan. And Adnan turns around and tells his brother, you again, go away. Like, I'm not the third wheel in this relationship. I will handle the outfit. I will handle all the issues. You mind your business. So it's just like, whoa, okay. And it just turned into a really, really tense car ride. So it's ridiculous in my opinion, okay, because Tigerlily is acting like, she doesn't know what she was getting into marrying a Muslim man. Then she's like, he's trying to I'm learning the rules from him and he's not communicating the rules to me properly, so I'm confused. Then there was this whole argument about him shaking Shay's hand, and she's not allowed to shake Cruz's hand. She's not allowed to hug Cruz. Cruz couldn't even put on a necklace for her. Okay. She says that she, has changed her interaction with men a lot, especially with Cruz. And it's hard because she, considers Cruz to be a brother. So I just find it ridiculous. Okay. They get to Petra and he's so happy in the morning that she only took 30 minutes to get ready. But then, like I said, he shook Shay's hand before they got into the car, and Tigerlily flipped the fuck out. she's like, okay, so let me get this straight. You could shake Shay's hand, but I can't shake Cruz's hand. And he's like, but what am I supposed to do? You said that Shay is my family. And she's like, yeah, Shay is your family, but I see a double standard here. Okay. So it turned into another very tense car ride. I'm on the way to Petra. And the brother in law tried to, mediate, but Tigerlily was getting more and more pissed off. And like Cruz said, okay, Adnan, you've seen the Lily side of her. Now you're seeing the Tiger side. Yeah, she was really, really pissed off. And she wound up getting out of the car, and that's how their segment ended on this episode. She's like, I have nothing else to say. I'm getting out of the car, like, and she just storms out. So Adnan, being the young Muslim man that he is, I bet you doesn't even know what the fuck to do. Okay, his mind is probably blown. So we shall see. But in my opinion, this is one of the boring couples. Like I have to keep myself from dozing off during their segments. So yeah. Now, by the time they get to their honeymoon destination, they go from their lovey-dovey selves to like looking like this. So we could imagine what next week is going to be like. Now, Tigerlily went to the gram to clarify a couple of things. Someone asked her, why do you need a stylist every day? Let me make this bigger so you guys can see this. Okay. Why do you need a stylist every day? You set your hair. And she says, why not? I have my hair styled when I'm at home. So why not on vacation where I'm with the love of my life? Obviously, it's a need. Someone else asks her, why leave one controlling relationship for another? And she says, who is in a controlling relationship? I sure am not. And trust me, I know controlling. Now, finally, someone asked her, what do you say to people who accuse you of wanting to be more white than Asian? And she says, people are so silly. Just because I color my hair blonde doesn't make me less Asian. I'm proud of all of my heritage, obviously, or I wouldn't be talking about it. So, and Adnan shared a picture of his brother. That's his brother's IG account, if you guys want to follow him. But hey, one thing you got to give his brother, he's a shit stirrer. Okay, I found it, not cool how he decided to insert himself into the whole Tigerlily Adnan conversation. So, okay, moving on. Go ahead, Stephanie. It's some edible time. Just looking at the comments. Yes, I do not underestimate Tigerlily, Barbara. She's a lot smarter, but I think that she just chooses to be dumb, if that makes sense. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. So, okay, moving on for Faith and Loren. Did I mention I want to punch Loren in the fucking face? I really fucking do. And if he's listening, yes, I want to punch you in the fucking face, especially after this episode. Okay. He talks about having gonorrhea like it's a badge of honor. And dude, no, it's not. It is fucking disgusting. And if I have to hear about your leaky penis one more time, I think I might reach to the TV and slap the daylights out of you. It is not cute. It is not funny. Okay. You have no idea how a blowjob wound up getting you gonorrhea. Did you take sex ed in high school? And speaking of high school, we're gonna get into Loren's high school past in a second. But hey, Loren, did you take sex ed in high school? Okay. So anyway, he has a leaky penis. He has gonorrhea. And this is the face that you make when your friend calls you from the Philippines to tell you that he has a leaky penis and gonorrhea, and that Faith basically never wants to see him again. So he's like, I think I really messed things up. She's really upset with me. When I told her that I was sleeping with people, she actually thought I was sleeping, just sleeping with people and not, having sexual relations. That's the face you make when your friend calls you all the way from the Philippines to tell you that he basically fucked up because he's an idiot. Now, Faith meets her friends. She's going to get her nails done. And her friend asked her, how does it feel to have an American boyfriend? How are things? What's going on? Fill us in, fill us in. And Faith starts to cry. She's embarrassed. She's heartbroken. And she tells her friends that Loren is a disgusting pig who cheated on her and has an STD. And her friends are crying with her. I'm crying with her. I'm getting angrier and angrier by the moment. I really want to reach through the fucking TV and slap the shit out of Loren. Because, like I said, he's, in my opinion, is wearing this gonorrhea like it's a badge of honor. So Faith is crying. She's like, I made such a bad, horrible decision. And she said that was that was one of the reasons why she was so afraid to have a boyfriend, was to get her heart broken, and Loren has broken her heart. So her friends encourage her to at least have a conversation with him, okay, before she cuts things off completely, because she says she doesn't think she could ever trust Loren again. She can't forgive him again. She can't forgive, she can't trust, she's really heartbroken, but she wants to have a conversation with him just to let him know what kind of an asshole he is and how he broke her heart. And I agree with it. Okay, I just hope that Loren doesn't manipulate her somehow, and because she wants to be loved so bad, she lets him manipulate her, and they start some sort of relationship after he takes his 7 pills. 1 down, 6 more to go. Like a fucking badge of honor. It was like a badge of honor. So, yes, I am relieved that Faith has a strong support network. Definitely. Because, without her friends, I don't know what she would do. And this guy is such an asshole, what he did and what he's trying to pull off on her, because she doesn't even know the part that he was going to try to convince her to have a non-monogamous relationship so he could just fuck around because he wants to. So she has no idea about that part. He's not even going to approach that part. His friend was like, I think you're going to have to give up wanting a non-monogamous relationship at this point, because Faith is not going to fucking go for it. Are you going to be able to survive, being monogamous? And he's like, I guess I have to. Like, you're an asshole. I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times. You're an asshole, Loren. And gonorrhea is not a badge of honor. So, one of Loren's high school classmates found their yearbook and posted Loren's high school pictures on Reddit. So, here's some pictures of Loren when he was in high school. Okay. This last picture of Loren I find particularly interesting. But here's some high school pictures of Loren. He's acting like he's in fucking high school now. Gonorrhea, badge of honor. I wonder if he took sex ed in high school. But yeah. All I have to say is run, Faith. Run as far as you can. You deserve much, much better. If you happen to be listening to me, girl, you deserve much, much better than this. Just saying. She's on TikTok. she's gorgeous. Okay, to me, she is gorgeous, and Loren does not deserve her, and she could get much better than him. So, Faith, run, please run. Now, moving on to Veah and Sunny. Now, it was kind of hard for me to get into the whole airport scene. You know, Veah's finally reached South Africa. Sunny is on the other side of a glass door holding black roses, waiting for her to walk through. And she is on that other side of the glass door, freaking the fuck out because she's afraid that Sunny is going to spot Rory, her ex, who she brought with her on the trip. But she's not going to tell Sunny about Rory, you know, for a couple of days because she wants to build a relationship with him. So it was hard getting into the whole airport, you know, when they met each other at the airport and them missing, kissing on the mouth, that whole scene. I was hard for me to get into because all I kept thinking was Rory's around the corner. So she told Rory, I'll text you 777 when we leave the building so you know it's safe to leave. 777 is apparently her guardian angel number. So Rory is waiting in the airport and he finally gets the text. So it's safe for him to leave. I'm just, all I keep thinking is poor Sunny. When Sunny finds out, he is not going to be fucking happy. And I don't blame him. And I would not blame him one bit if he told Veah, go fuck off and get back on the next flight to the States. I wouldn't blame him one bit. But and like I said, it's hard to, you know, go, oh, they're a cute couple, or even like get into them as a couple, because you know that shit is going to implode in a couple of episodes, okay? Because her ex is there. So anyway, they get to the apartment. And Sunny, who has been so cute, so sweet this whole time, made her homemade chicken curry. And Veah didn't want to eat any. And, you know, I get it as someone who suffers from a sensitive stomach, but I would have took a bite out of it because my man made it for me. Okay. I would at least taste it. She refused to even taste it. So that hurt his feelings. It made him sad, but he went into the bedroom to set up this whole, you know, romantic scene. Candles with the wax dripping all the way down the nightstand. Did you guys notice that? I'm like, dude, have you ever heard of candle holders? There's like wax dripping everywhere. Good question. How long has the curry chicken been sitting there, though? I wonder if he, you know, had it out on the counter the whole time. Then that's a dangerous situation. We're talking about salmonella. So, he's setting up the whole romantic scene in the bedroom. And mind you, Veah has no intention on getting romantic. Okay, she is tired. She feels, you know, a little awkward still. So Sunny's going to shower alone tonight because even though they've done things on video call and she's, you know, taking a shower with him on video call, she's not feeling it tonight. She's going to shower alone and they're going to go to bed. So Sunny didn't get her to eat his food. Sunny didn't get a shower with her. Sunny didn't get any booty. So he's basically 0 for 3 on their first night. So let's see what happens when he finds out that Rory's there. Yes, the whole she has to teach him foreplay. Yes, that was funny. He thought foreplay was 4 people playing like a card game or something. So we shall see what happens with these two. But Sunny is not going to be smiling when he realizes Rory's in South Africa. Take my word for it. So you guys remember how Veah described her bond with Rory. Um, Partially because he was there for her when her brother was killed by law law enforcement a few years ago. Well, thank you to Mary Pants and her wonderful research skills. We have some info on Vea's brother. I covered this in my video yesterday, so if you haven't checked out my Oi Vey from yesterday, please do. But Vea's brother was shot and killed by law enforcement a few years ago, and basically, the investigation turned out that it basically the cop shot at the car that he was driving, and it was one shot that went through the windshield and it hit him in the head. And it was determined that at the time he was driving the car towards the police officer. So I guess they determined it to be a justified shooting. So check out my video yesterday for more info. But these are pictures of Vea's brother Cody. Um, this is their dad and Cody when he was on life support. In my video yesterday, I shared a news report where we hear from Vea's dad, her brother, and her brother's widow. So these are his mugshots. It's not his first run-in with the police. So yeah, so this is Vea's brother Cody, who she talked about on TV. And then she said that I covered this in my video yesterday, that the day of her brother's funeral is when she started having really bad cramps, went to the hospital. They told her she was in labor. She was only 20 weeks or so, and she lost the baby. So that is, why she says she has such a tight bond with Rory, because he was, with her during this rough time. And the reason why they broke up is because they both, grieve in different ways. Now, another little tea about Veah. That's not her real name. Okay. I'm not going to release her real name because I don't want to dox her. Whatever she decides to go by on TV, that's her business. But Veah is now her real name. And these are some throwback pictures of her from back in 2018. So if you haven't checked out my video from yesterday, please do. It has the news report and all that other stuff in there. So now moving on to Brian and Ingrid. Brian and Ingrid. Okay. So first, let me cover what happened on TV before we cover the off-screen drama. So Brian and Ingrid, they go to this resort, okay? And if you wonder why Brian has been to Brazil over 30 times, is because of places like this. Brazil's a beautiful country, beautiful nature. So now it is the day after. Brian basically forced himself upon Ingrid and her son. And yes, I said it because remember, Ingrid said that she wanted time to process what he told her. And he showed up that night with flowers and a gift for her son. I mean, what was she going to tell him? No, go back. Of course, she let him in. He knew she was going to let him in. So it's the day after he got to meet her son. He feels like their relationship is, going on the right track now because, he is totally going to distract her from the fact that he's a lying gaslighter who didn't tell her that he was a drug dealer, even though they were talking for 2 years, and just drops it on her lap when they meet in person. But, he's going to distract her from the fact, and he's going to take her to this beautiful resort. Okay. And they have, a nice time in the pool. And then they sit down to eat. And he starts telling her, well, I didn't tell you the other side of my story. You only heard the bad side. You didn't hear about the redemption. And he starts talking, about his recovery after he was shot. It was 2 months in the hospital. Thank you so much, Kelly. 2 months in the hospital. Okay. And imagine just laying there for 2 months, he says. It changed, his whole perspective. He was depressed as fuck. People would ask him, Brian, what do you want to do? What are you going to do? And he would be like, just leave me alone. And, he was so depressed. So basically, rugby saved his life. Okay. He said rugby saved his life. And if he wasn't introduced to rugby, he doesn't know if he would be where he is today. And it has given him the opportunity to help other people who may be in the same predicament that he is. And he says, well, if the trade off for dealing drugs is losing the use of my legs and arms, then, maybe that's the way it's meant to be. And listening and watching how now this whole story is going to go into a redemption arc. And when Ingrid eventually sees Brian for the person that he is and tells him to go fuck off, she's going to look like the mean villainess for, denying this poor dude in the wheelchair a chance of love. He redeemed himself. He helps other people that are in the same situation that he is. And, oh, poor Brian, she's such a bitch. She's a villainess. I could just see this coming and it's pissing me to fuck off. We're in the redemption arc now. Okay. So Ingrid, she's getting all the feels. She's like, I'm still afraid. I still have to keep my guard up. But hearing how Brian redeemed himself and is helping others, makes me feel better. And I just want to scream through the TV, no, please, no. But anyway, as we all know, or you guys know because you watch me, Brian is currently married. Okay. So while he was filming with Ingrid and trying to seduce her and all that other good stuff, he's still currently married. He's not divorced. Divorce proceedings have been going on since 2023. So, yeah, he's a lying, gaslighting bastard. So, oh, Tracy, thank you. Thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you. So, he's a gaslighting bastard. I attempted to share this video in my Oy Vey yesterday, but I was having technical difficulties. I'm going to share it with you guys now. This is a video of Brian with wife number 4, okay, he is still currently married to. And from what I understand from my source, allegedly the divorce is dragging on because Brian is making things difficult by hiding assets. In Brazil, apparently assets are split 50-50. And, Brian is going to douchebag mode and making things difficult. Allegedly, from what I hear from my source. Okay. So let me share this with you guys. This is Brian with his current wife. I'm going to have to mute the music on their video, but first I want to show you Brian's wheelchair rugby. He went live the other day and showing him at wheelchair rugby. So I want to show you guys that. Okay. Let me know if you don't hear the sound. Oh, actually, this one has no sound. Okay, and this is Brian and his current wife. Okay, so there we go. That is Brian with Fran, his current wife. And let me just fix myself here. And I wonder myself if she knew that Brian was still currently married. I kind of find it hard to believe that she didn't know that he was still currently married. But then once again, he lied about his age. He, conveniently didn't tell her that he was a drug dealer. So there you go. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. He's so charming until he speaks, right? So, yeah, so that is Brian with his current wife, Fran. And he's just something else. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something else before I forget. Okay, so this is Brian's current. Let me put this up here. Okay, this is Brian's current IG page. Okay, so as you can see there, okay, it says, Brian, before the 90-day fiance, wheelchair athlete, motivational speaker, inspiring others to embrace life fully. So from what I understand from my source, he not only has blocked his current wife that he's in the middle of a divorce, but he's dragging it out allegedly. He didn't, not only has he blocked her, but he is making certain videos directed towards her, as you say. So let me play this one, because this is one. Okay, so this is one apparently directed towards her. And then we have, where's the other one? Oh, here we go. Okay, and then this is another one, from what I understand from my source. Like he, likes to do little digs. And this is another dig at his current wife that he's dragging.
On a photo watch, Prezi playing Jay.
Yeah, so not only is he a gaslighting liar, but he's a real prick, for the lack of a better word. Okay, he's just a real prick. So he has two um Instagram accounts, and the other one, even though it has pictures of his current wife that he is in the middle of divorcing, he has it as like a public figure 90-day fiance page. So I'm confused, because this one still has pictures of your current wife that you're in the middle of a divorce and you're on TV with someone else. I don't know. Confusing me. Confusing. So, yeah. So Now we're going to get into the drama over the weekend with allegedly Brian picked up someone as as you guys know, he drives an Uber. And someone posted on Reddit that they were his passenger over the weekend. And thanks to Mary Pants, okay. This is from her post over the weekend. An Uber passenger posted on Reddit about his driver Brian from 90 Day Fiancé. In the post, he included a short video clip of Brian discussing his ex Ingrid. He quickly deleted the post upon realizing that he had inadvertently revealed his address in the video. He mentioned having a 12 to 16-minute recording of Brian primarily focused on Ingrid. After removing the video, he made a second post without the footage, engaging with other Redditors by answering questions about the deleted conversation during the Uber ride. A few minutes later, he deleted that post as well, along with his user. I did not see either of the Reddit posts myself, so my understanding is based on what others have shared. I've gathered from the comments from those who witnessed both the video and the discussion. In summary, comments from Reddit users indicate that the Uber passengers video allegedly featured Brian making derogatory statements about Ingrid, include calling her a whore and claiming that her friends are also whores. Um, According to these comments, Brian suggested that Ingrid has other children due to her involvement in sex work, and one of those children is special needs. It was noted that Brian and Ingrid had already broken up when filming began, but they chose to continue with the production for the financial benefits and status that come with being part of the show. So Mary Pants posted this to the gram, and Ingrid hopped in the comments, and this was her response. So, exclusively from Mary Pants's IG page, and we all know where the hottest tea is, Ingrid speaks out on Brian's alleged Uber rant. Okay, so this is in response to my post about the Uber passenger who got a ride from Brian 90 Day Fiancé, during which Brian allegedly discussed Ingrid in a very unfavorable light. Ingrid says, I'm not a prostitute. I'm a single mother who gets up at 6 in the morning, gets her child ready for school. Then I go to my work when I come back at 5 p.m. I pick up my son from school. I'm a mother who plays a very good role as a mother and a father of my children. I'm proud to be who I am. I never killed. I never stole. I never used drugs, never sold drugs, never made promises to demons to give me wealth, unlike if God thinks I deserve riches that give me health, honesty to acquire. Because I died poor if I had to ally with the devil to have money. She goes on to say in the comments, everything he lies and says against me only shows what kind of person he is and not what kind of person I am. Who has a good heart plans well, regardless of everything. I've never spoken evil of him and won't, because I'm not a person to distill poison in others to do well in life. But this is ridiculous thing of low people speaking evil of others to stand out as a mouth in history. Whoever wants to come to my city, my job is to know if I'm a prostitute. Just come, and I guarantee everyone who will hear speak very well of me throughout the city. Okay, so we do have Fran in the comments, and she says, at the right time, I will tell the whole truth. Here in Brazil, videos of the program are already starting to circulate, and some Brazilian women found me to tell me what he did to them too. So I don't understand why these people go on national TV, especially international TV like 90 Day Fiancé. If you have skeletons in your closet and you don't expect them to come tumbling out. So apparently Fran is being contacted by other women that have had, relationships with Brian. So we shall see. Mhm. Thank you, Fran, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so, and that is the drama that's going on with Ingrid and Brian off screen. And Mary Pants and I would just like to put it out there. If you were Brian's Uber passenger over this past weekend, the one that posted the video on Reddit and deleted it, please DM one of us. Please. We'll make memes, okay? If you DM one of us, Mary Pants will make the greatest fucking meme in the world. Please DM one of us, okay? Thank you. Okay? So, Brian is a gaslighter. And that's all I have to say. He is a gaslighter. And just a liar in general. Now, I want to move on to a couple that actually made me smile during this episode. Niles and Matilda. I can't help but to smile and worry at the same time. Okay, so Matilda is headed to the airport to pick up Daddy. Okay, and I'm cracking up every time she says, "I'm going to pick up my daddy." When she was talking to her friend, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I packed sexy panties," but her and Niles both said that they were going to do this right, even though they both have had sex in the past. They said they're going to do this right and they're going to wait until their relationship is blessed by God before having sex. But Matilda doesn't know she's going to be able to keep her hands off of him because he's so damn cute. So he gets to the airport. Wait, I want to continue. He gets to the airport, and that was one of the greatest airport scenes in the past couple of seasons. Okay. She runs to him. She gives him the biggest hug. Okay. Like they can't believe they're like in each other's presence. He tells the cameraman, "Stop shooting me. Stop shooting below the waist. Okay. We're in public, I nearly died when he said that. Okay. She brought her brother along. Okay. He totally went with the flow. He's like, "Hi, nice to meet you." Of course, the brother has to come along and make sure, that Niles is not some crazy person that's going to kill his sister. But eventually, they're going to have their alone time. So they get in the cab, and they're, going to go back to the hotel. But first, she wants to take him to a restaurant, okay, so he could try some of the local food. Now, she was like, "I'm going to order my man the best. I'm going to order him the fufu, which is smoked crab, smoked fish, crab, goat, and snail." They put the plate down in front of Niles, and everyone needs to take notes from Niles on how to handle food from your future fiance's other culture. You go in, grab a handful, take a big bite, and say, "It's delicious." Okay, you can tell he was chewing on it for a second, thinking about it. He had a big old snail in his mouth. He swallowed it, and he was like, "It is delicious." And I'm like, "Niles, that's the way you fucking do it." Okay, go in, grab a handful, eat that shit, look your woman in the eye and say, "It's delicious." Now you need to get your backbone like that and tell her tonight that you guys aren't getting married on this trip, because this is where I'm like really, really worried. Okay. Because um she's planning like this really big wedding from what we see next week. Like she talks about over 200 people are coming. And her brother tells him about her anger management problem. And I'm like, oh boy. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be an issue. This is where she's going to eat him up, chew him, and spit him out. And I'm so worried for him. Okay, because I think the minute she really, really gets mad, he's going to freak the fuck out. So her brother was like, telling him that you have to make sure you treat my sister right. And he's like, from what I understand, treating a woman right is not cheating on her, taking care of her, not lying to her, not mistreating her. And the brother's like, yes, just be aware that my sister has an anger management problem. And she's sitting there like, yeah, maybe a little bit. So Niall says he hasn't seen it yet, but we shall see. I think he's going to see it once he tells her that they're not going to get married on this trip. I think he's going to run from the anger. So they go back to the hotel. And even though, if they want to wait until marriage, but they're going to be sleeping in the same bed. And has Niles mentioned lately that he is a heterosexual man with a beautiful woman in bed with him? And Matilda, she's not shy. She's not shy one bit. She climbs into bed. She said, Daddy, are you going to give me a kiss? And next thing you know, they're kissing. And she's on top of him like this. So I think Niles got some. I think they gave in to their urges. What do you think? A little bit more from Fran about Brian. Oh, wow. Fran says, but all the ideas are mine, including the idea of participating in 90 Day Fiancé before marrying him in Brazil. Wow. Yeah, Brian's a douche. That I'll stand by. Brian is a douche. So now moving on to Chidi and Rayne, guys. I can't. Okay. So first of all, Rayne decides that she's going to take Chidi to an eye specialist, which I was like, okay, that's nice. That's that, because he hasn't been to an eye specialist in over 10 years, and there's been new, technology. And who knows, maybe something could be done now that could help Chidi restore his sight. And it was really sad, watching him go through the whole exam only to find out at the end that not only does he have cataracts, which are, fixable by surgery, but he does have severe glaucoma in both eyes. The pressure in both eyes, is very, very high. And if the pressure continues to increase, it could not only continue the blindness, of course, but lead to eye loss eventually, like losing the actual eye. And Chidi is like, oh my goodness, So the doctor is going to prescribe medication to try to take down the eye pressure a little bit, but restoring his vision is not going to happen. Chidi's heart was broken all over again, and Rayne was there holding his hand, got him through it all. So he feels like that their relationship got stronger from going to see the eye specialist. Okay, so he asked his sister to make a special dinner. And unlike Niles, who just reached in and grabbed a handful, um, Rayne made this face. Okay, and I'm sorry, I know she said it was spicy, and she said that the gory was tasteless, but I mean, you know, you knew immediately from the look on her face. She didn't like it. And oh, wait, before I move on. Renee, speak for yourself, bitch. When you say that we don't cook, you may not cook, but I fucking cook. And there's a lot of other Americans who cook. And when I mean by cook, I don't mean by heating up frozen dinners and the hot pockets and pizzas and shit like that. I mean cook actual meals like maybe a roasted chicken with vegetables and homemade mashed potatoes or something like that. Okay, so bitch, speak for yourself. So she sits there and she tells um Chidi's sister and brother-in-law that Americans don't cook, making it sound like, that we all don't fucking cook. I mean, but foreigners already think that we're a bunch of fucking lazy, slobby people who do nothing but eat fast food. And now we got this bitch talking about, oh, the only thing I cook is hot pockets. Speak for yourself, okay? So anyway, can you tell that that triggered me a little when she said that? So of course, Chidi's sister and brother-in-law worried because they're like, if he's gonna go with her to the States and she doesn't know how to cook, how is he gonna survive? He eats African food. There's only so much that he could do for himself when it comes to cooking. And if Renee doesn't cook, he's gonna starve our poor brother. Like, oh my goodness. So I don't blame Victoria for sitting there looking like this, okay, throughout the whole scene. Because if I had to deal with Renee, I would be looking like that too. And plus, she had that baby on her hip, okay, and another child wandering around the room, and she's a stressed out mom. And then she got Renee, sitting across from her, and I bet she was taking everything in her, not to like just reach across the table and like, smack her, but he Renee turns around and tells Victoria, why do you look so mad? Why are you so mad at me? And she's like, I'm not mad. And even if I am mad, maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe I'm stressed over my children. Maybe I'm just tired because I made this big fucking meal that you don't want to eat. But I'm not mad. And it turned into a whole confrontation between Renee and Victoria, and poor Chidi is sitting there. And because he's blind, he can't tell if Renee is just overreacting, what is the actual expression on his sister's face, or what the fuck is happening. He's just sitting there disoriented. And like he says later on, when him and Renee go for a walk the next day, and Renee brings up about going to a hotel room because she says she feels this real dark energy, coming from Victoria. She doesn't want to be there anymore. She wants to get a hotel room so the two of them could spend a quality time together. And Chidi, understands that he needs privacy with her. She is the love of his life, but he doesn't trust himself to be alone with her and not to give in to his urges. So sometimes it's better just to avoid so you don't get yourself into trouble. But Renee starts yelling at him. And you know something? She really needed to fucking put her finger down. I mean, this bitch, who the fuck does she think she is, yelling at Chidi and sticking her finger in his face? So basically, we see next week Renee is leaving. So I guess all of this implodes and she comes back to the States, which makes sense considering in the first couple of weeks of the season, there was a flurry of social media activity from both Renee and Chidi and then Victoria. Okay, so Victoria said Chidi had clarified the situation and has the following to say. Honestly, what would you do if you were in his position? Of course, there are times when silence is golden, but then also there are times when silence can be morbidly dangerous. It is against this backdrop that I wish to clarify some issues regarding the episodes aired so far. The primary issue is the decision not to have sex or share a bed until we are married. While this is a decision I have made, I want to make it clear that I informed Renee about this before she came to Nigeria. Upon hearing this, she reacted with overwhelming anger, threatening to cancel her visit and later changing her mind. So, according to Chidi and his sister Victoria, who posted this on his behalf, Renee knew before going to Nigeria that she wasn't going to be getting any booty from Chidi. In making this difficult decision, aside from my faith, I was also deeply concerned by some of the unsettling, alien, and mystic things Renee mentioned during our discussion. On one occasion, she asked if I was ready to be sacrificed and if I was prepared to be in the same room with her when vampires and cannibals would gather for their feasts. She claimed to communicate with the dead and even said that she has seen and talked to my late father. She bragged about having dark powers and threatened to summon dark forces from all corners of the earth against me and my family if she didn't get what she wants. Wow. She even mentioned having a force that enters any man that who has sex with her. While I loved Renee and wanted to share a room with her, even though we would not be having sex, my decision to sleep separately was a precaution to carefully observe her and just determine if her frightening tales were genuine or just bluffs. So my decision is not a willful abandonment as some have misconstrued, but rather a precautionary measure taken for safety until I better understand her. The bottom line is that I communicated all of this to her before her arrival. Victoria says, well, for whoever that cares to know the truth, Renee and Chidi met in 2018, communicated very well until her madness. They later broke up and never spoke to each other for 2 to 3 years, only for Renee to call Chidi up on June of last year, informing him about the show. Surprise, surprise. Um, Chidi wasn't even on social media because he was robbed of his Android phone and computer. He was in school then doing his MSc. So it was his direct line Renee called because she couldn't reach him through the internet. She didn't even inform Chidi she was applying for the show, and Chidi had never known anything about it. 2 weeks later, the producers contacted Chidi for an interview. As a matter of fact, Chidi did the auditions with a borrowed phone. Renee was so desperate about the show, begging Chidi to help her. She couldn't afford the regular phone calls because she needed to be in regular touch with Chidi. Hence, wait, because she needed to be in regular touch with Chidi, hence needed social media. And Chidi not having a smartphone at that time was a big barrier. So she thought of getting a phone for him. Of course, she edited their chats for indictment, and it's all good. She used Chidi. Even when Chidi was seriously talking about marriage, she asked him if he was crazy, if he wanted her to lose her child support. Chidi informed her he won't be sleeping together. She canceled the trip, blocking Chidi. Later on, called Chidi again and begging him just to maintain so they could smile to the camera. So it looks like next week Renee will be leaving. Okay. there's a confrontation between Victoria and Renee next week. Victoria calls her delusional, and then we see her sobbing in the cab. So it looks like Renee will be leaving, and Renee herself had a lot to say the first couple of weeks of the season before she blocked me and made her social media private. She said, I never forced anyone, and I don't push anyone. If you want nothing to do with me, that's okay. I let it be. Your negativity has nothing on me. It's just sad the way people have become. Just an empty, judgmental shell of your former self. All I mostly seem to ever see is hypocrites. Where are all the real followers? Never mess with people's religion and make them look like the opposite for your self pleasure. She also said, but I guess we got through a bunch more seasons to go through, so I guess I'll keep tapping in somewhere until something gets somewhere. Now, how can I be angry when everything is and was expected? LOL. I'm 37 years old and all I've seen is negative people. Few positive, so I'm not surprised to see and have a bunch of low lives criticizing another all over the internet. As I said, expected and not surprised. A surprise would to be see many positive. There is a few surprising sprinkles in there. Bless the better half of society. I never knew you felt this way. This changes the game. You invited me for profit. Let me sink that in. Okay, well, I hope karma comes fast and I hope it hits you hard. God has my bad. You are so whack. Okay, so yeah. Renee rages and that is basically it. She just goes on and on. Oh, let me share this with you guys. If you were true, you would never have let such evil be negative towards the one you supposedly loved. It's obvious to the world that you were scamming me, but they choose to side with you. You lie, you deceive, and you will do whatever you can to collect money and or opportunity. You knew me and you knew everything about me. And now you and many others chose to deceive and hurt others for profit. God curse your profit. You will gain nothing in your eternity. You are an empty shell. Go to hell. Whoa. Okay, those are strong fighting words, Renee, for a supposedly, spiritually higher, spiritually planed person that you are. Those sounds like fucked up fighting words. Okay. So before I close out tonight's recap and tea session, I want you to all keep David, as in David and Sheila, David's mom in your prayers. Apparently she's really sick. She's in the hospital. David posted this. So, please keep him, his family, and his mom in your prayers. And Danielle Gates, Danielle, you have my deepest condolences on the passing of your grandmother. Um, this actually made me really sad when I saw this because I know that her and her grandma were getting ready to go on her next retreat to Bali, and it was going to be her grandmother's first time traveling outside of the country. And now it looks like, unfortunately, she passed away before she was able to make the trip. And seeing this post from Danielle brought tears to my eyes this morning, honestly. So, Danielle, you have my deepest condolences, sympathies, thoughts and prayers to your family and all that good stuff. But, grandma lived a good life. You even said yourself, grandma lived a good life, and you're her greatest legacy. That's all I can say. So, condolences to Danielle. And that is basically it for tonight. So, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, Fran, for being in the comments. And I'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody.